Two people can stand in the same room, hear the same words, and still experience two completely different realities. Not because something was misunderstood, but because perception itself works differently. Hello, my name is Sieg. I am the founder of NAVORES and the author of Talking Won't Fix It. A core focus of NAVORES is personal development, not in the sense of psychology or awareness, but in terms of biologically rooted mechanisms that shape behavior, communication, and human interaction under pressure. This video is about perception and communication, about where people are actually speaking from, where they are listening from, and why conversations so often go nowhere, even though both sides feel they are expressing themselves clearly. One thing is important to clarify right from the beginning. When two people stand next to each other, the reality in that moment is the same. The room is the same. The situation is the same. Even what is being said is objectively identical. What differs is not reality itself, but the perception of that reality. And this is not a mistake, not a misunderstanding, not a communication problem in the classical sense. It is structural. I see this every day in conversations. You talk to someone, privately, professionally, in sales, or in close interaction, and often you already notice, while you are still speaking, that the other person is no longer fully present. Not because they are rude, not because they interrupt you intentionally, but because something shifts internally. You can see it in the eyes, in the body tension, in the timing of the response. While you are still speaking, the other person has already begun forming an answer. They are no longer still listening in the actual sense. They are not waiting, they are planning. At that moment, there is no longer a dialogue. Two thinking processes are running in parallel, side by side, but not with each other. And one clarification is important here. This has nothing to do with a lack of respect, nothing to do with intelligence, nothing to do with intention or character. It is a matter of perceptual logic. From my experience, there are two fundamentally different ways in which people perceive and process reality. Two perception types, not better, not worse, but built differently. Both hear the same words, but internally they go to completely different places. Not because the content is different, but because the internal processing follows a different structure. This becomes especially clear in professional conversations. You explain something calmly, logically, and thoroughly, and something different arrives on the other side. Not weakened, not distorted, but structured differently. And this is why communication fails so often. Not because people speak poorly, but because they listen from different perceptual spaces without knowing that they do. This is not a typology game, not a set of labels, not a character module, not a personality test. It is an observation about internal architecture. Why these two perception types emerge can be explained in a coherent and rational way. There is a solid theoretical basis for this. We will get to that. For now, this framing is enough. One reality, two perceptions, and many conversations that fail precisely because of this.